Feel free to interact with us and let us know where you are watching from. Only on your Top Star Decoders Channel 91, Sun FM TV. Radio Gone Rogue. Radio Gone TV.
Your finest radio station is responsible for the dawn of a new era in Zambian broadcasting. Capturing your favorite sounds on radio into great moments on television and on social media. Welcome to Zambia's first and finest visual radio, Sun FM TV.
Sun FM, broadcasting from the Copperbelt capital, Ndola City.
This is your favorite station.
The Zambia ABSA Marathon is back. Be part of Zambia's biggest and most anticipated marathon. Join us on the 6th of September 2025 for a day of fun, personal milestones, and unforgettable memories. And now with the World Athletics label, you don't want to miss a chance to write your fitness story. Register today at absamarathonzambia.co.zm. Get your slot at 600 kwacha or 500 kwacha when you pay using any of your ABSA cards. Your story matters. ABSA.
For in-depth news coverage from across Zambia, local and national news, business, politics, and sports, this is the Sun FM News, brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters.
The news.
With the news, my name is Alan Mwale. The headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has reaffirmed Zambia's enduring friendship with the United States, describing the relationship as cordial and grounded in shared democratic values. The Ministry of Mines and Minerals Development has announced that Zambia recorded a notable increase in copper production during the second quarter of 2025. Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Chipoka Mulenga has called for Zambia to position itself as the leading producer of gemstones and other precious stones in Southern Africa. In sports, Zambia Under-17 women's national team coach Carol Kanyemba believes the time is ripe to expand the number of teams participating in the COSAFA CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers. We have the news in detail shortly.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
President Hakainde Hichilema has reaffirmed Zambia's enduring friendship with the United States, describing the relationship as cordial and grounded in shared democratic values. Speaking in Livingston during a meeting with a delegation of U.S. congressional members, President Hichilema emphasized that Zambia's foreign policy is anchored in the principles of peace, security, and stability, values that continue to strengthen bilateral ties between the two nations. The high-level engagement focused on enhancing cooperation across key sectors such as trade, investment, and governance. Both parties expressed a mutual commitment to advancing shared interests and deepening collaboration. President Hichilema commended the United States for its consistent partnership over the years, stating that Zambia looks forward to expanding cooperation for the benefit of both nations.
Over many years, these two countries have worked on our bilateral partnership, and successive U.S. governments have come and gone, successive Zambian governments, administrations, if I may say so, have come and gone, and like yourselves, you do alternate political parties, which is important for democracy, enhancement of democracy, deepening of democracy. I am the 7th Republican president here from 4 political parties. It doesn't happen often on this continent. So I think it's important for us to underscore the enduring partnership that has gone through various leaderships, various administrations. And we value this partnership, We would like this partnership to grow, to be deepened. We do understand the new administration's trust on how they want to curb or structure these partnerships.
Leading the U.S. congressional delegation, Charlie Dent, Executive Director and Vice President of Policy Programs at the Congressional Program, reaffirmed America's commitment to deepening ties with Zambia and the broader sub-Saharan Africa region. Mr. Dent stated that the United States is fully engaged and eager to build a strong, respectful and mutual beneficial partnership with Zambia. He emphasized that the delegation's visit is not only an opportunity to share perspectives, but also to listen and learn from Zambian counterparts. The delegation expressed admiration for the hospitality and professionalism of the Zambian people, noting that they have been deeply impressed by their experience.
Our program has been to Africa several times over the years, and we have made this a priority. Quite often, the United States is accused of not showing up enough, that we are not, we are not present enough, and by proof of this delegation, we just want everyone to know that we are here, we care, we're engaged, and we are interested. And we want to further develop this wonderful partnership between our two nations. We are here in large part to discuss issues of global health, food insecurity and malnutrition, agriculture, development assistance, and also the general political environment.
The visit forms part of an ongoing initiative by the U.S. Congressional Program to strengthen bilateral relations and foster dialogue on key developmental and policy priorities across the region. The Ministry of Mines and Minerals Development has announced that Zambia recorded a notable increase in copper production during the second quarter of 2025, reaching 439,644.29 metric tons, up from 373,263.9 metric tons in the same period last year. This marks a 17.78 year-on-year growth. Speaking at a media briefing, Minister Paul Kabuswe attributed part of this surge to the contributions of small-scale miners who produced 39,499.8 metric tons, accounting for 9% of the total output. Mr. Kabuswe highlighted that the overall increase was largely driven by Konkola Copper Mines, KCM, which significantly ramped up its production from just 880.73 metric tons in Q2 2024 to 35,387.91 metric tons in Q2 of 2025. Mopani Copper Mines also posted strong gains, increasing its output from 17,087.92 metric tons to 27,406.21 metric tons, which is a 60.38 rise.
The Ministry of Mines and Minerals Development has continued to show positive growth. This was observed during a press briefing held by Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Paul Kabuswe, to give an update on how the mining sector performed in the second quarter of 2025. Mr. Kabuswe revealed that copper production increased in the second quarter of 2025.
In the second quarter of this year, total production stood at 439,644 metric tons, compared to 373,263.9 metric tons production during the same period in 2024, meaning by this second quarter we have increased production of copper by 17.78%.
The minister attributed the increase in copper production to increased production at Konkola, Mopani, Kansanshi and Chibuluma copper mines. Mr. Kabuswe, however, noted a decrease in copper production at Sino Metal Leach, First Quantum Minerals, Mimbula and Sino Xianghuan.
Basically 18%. Of this figure, 39,477, which is about 9% of the total production in the first half, came from small-scale and artisanal miners. The overall increase in copper production is predominantly attributed to the increase in production output at KCM, Mopani, Kansanshi, and Chiruma mine.
He also disclosed that a total of 1,488 artisanal mining rights were granted during the second quarter of 2025.
For digitization of the licensing system. As you may recall, on 27 February 2025, my ministry launched the Zambia Integrated Mining Information System, ZIMIS, a digital platform which was set to transform the mining sector in Zambia. However, the new licensing system faced some challenges which made it difficult for it to successfully implement as per the plan.
The minister also gave an update on the gold sector.
February 2025, while in Mumbwa, buying commenced in March 2025. As at June 2025, 13.9 kg of gold with an average purity of 84% was purchased from ASMs in the two districts. Further, government through the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Development will facilitate partnerships with investors, hand-holding the ASM to enhance gold mining operations in the country.
Mr. Kabuswe assured the nation that investments in Konkola and Mopani copper mines will continue yielding positive results, reaffirming government's commitment of improving the mining sector. Justin Banda, Sun FM TV News, in the capital, Lusaka.
Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mulenga, has called for Zambia to position itself as the leading producer of gemstones and other precious stones in Southern Africa. Speaking during a consultative meeting with gemstone stakeholders held today in Lusaka, Minister Mulenga emphasized the importance of adding value to Zambia's mineral resources. He urged the stakeholders to educate and empower citizens on how to process and produce finished gemstone products locally rather than exporting raw materials.
Zambia should be the biggest producer of cables in Southern Africa. It can only be the biggest producer only if we process the copper ourselves. So the copper industry is doing very well. Let's go to the manganese sector. We have always been exporting manganese in its raw form. Going to Serenje, going to Luapula, it has always been like that. The direction that is also embedded in the 8th National Development Plan, buying an extract from the UPND manifesto, value addition in the manganese sector. Manganese for years has never been given value addition after Mansa batteries closed. I'm sure you're aware of this. We've been exporting it.
At the same event, a Federation of Small-Scale Mining Association of Zambia, Vice President Pauline Sialumbi Mundia echoed the minister's sentiments and urged the ministry to actively support gemstone miners. She called for the establishment of technical committees within the ministry to guide miners on best practices for processing and value addition before gemstones are sold.
Value addition, yes, we need to add value to our stones. And the small-scale miners, or let's say the traders, we need to encourage them. We need to support them. How would we support them? By going through the federation, so that the federation is the apex body of some associations which are affiliated with the Federation of Small-Scale Miners. So we need to have a committee that will look at that. Coming to some stones that we exhibit or export.
And the President of Women in Mining, Namakau Kaingu, welcomed the initiative, noting its potential to boost Zambia's tourism industry by showcasing locally processed gemstones. She added that the move would also create employment opportunities across various sectors, contributing to broader economic development. Government, through the Tax Appeals Tribunal, has revealed that a total of 626 appeal cases have been received since the tribunal's establishment in 1999. Of these, 39 cases have been escalated to the High Court, while 10 cases have reached the Supreme Court. Speaking during a sensitization workshop, a registrar of the Tax Appeals Tribunal, Yihemba Chirwa, stated that the workshop aimed to raise awareness about the tribunal's role and strengthen collaboration between the tribunal and government departments to ensure efficient and fair resolution of tax disputes. She explained that the Tax Appeals Tribunal was established to provide an independent and impartial forum for resolving disputes arising from decisions made by the Commissioner General of the Zambia Revenue Authority. Ms. Chirwa also noted that the tribunal currently operates only from Lusaka, but is mandated to hold circuit courts periodically to bring tax dispute resolution closer to the citizens across the country.
Departments, both directly and indirectly. This makes it essential that public institutions have a clear understanding of how the tribunal works, the scope of its jurisdiction, and the processes it follows. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this workshop is twofold. One, to enhance awareness of the tribunal's role, procedures, and benefits to the public sector. And two, to strengthen collaboration between the tribunal and government departments in ensuring efficient and just resolution of tax disputes. We recognize that an informed public service is key to improving taxpayer confidence, promoting voluntary.
Gracing the workshop, Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Lawrence Mwanza highlighted the critical role of government departments in both public service delivery and economic governance. Mr. Mwanza said the meeting is a vital opportunity for various government departments to engage directly with the Tax Appeals Tribunal and gain a deeper understanding of its mandate, functions, and the procedures available for resolving tax disputes.
It is a commendable effort towards inclusivity and access to justice. This meeting, therefore, is just another event on our calendar. It is a vital opportunity for us to engage directly with the Tax Appeals Tribunal and gain a deeper insights into its mandate, functions, and the procedures and avenues available for tax disputes resolutions. As government departments, we are not only responsible for delivering public service, but we are also significant players in the country's economic landscape. We are employers, contractors, and in many cases, taxpayers. Therefore, understanding the tax laws and the mechanisms.
The movement for safety for people on the move has urged the government to reinstate nationwide roadblocks following a surge in road traffic accidents. Movement President Chifwesa Kaoma attributed the rise in crashes to the absence of a police presence on roads, which has allowed unroadworthy vehicles to operate unchecked. Reacting to the tragic Silverest accident that claimed 4 lives when a Toyota Vitz was crashed, Ms. Kaoma called for a thorough police investigation to determine whether mechanical failure, overspeeding, or a possible seizure by the truck driver caused the crash. Meanwhile, Traffic Desk Administrator Cholo Mpande reminded motorists to stay in their lanes, warning that failure to do so violates Section 173, Act 11 of 2002, which outlines proper driving procedures.
4 lives were tragically cut short yesterday in Lusaka Silverest area when a Volvo truck collided head-on with a Toyota Vitz, leaving Zambians in shock and mourning. Among the victims was Winston Mupeta, a 5th-year biomedical sciences student at Levi Mwanawasa Medical University, and Brian Mwense, a 46-year-old man from Chongwe Township, along with 2 others who are yet to be identified. The horrific accident, which occurred near Petroda filling station along the Great East Road, has reignited concerns over road safety in Zambia. Preliminary investigations, according to the police, indicates that the truck traveling from Chongwe to Lusaka failed to keep to its near side and struck the Toyota Vitz, which had the right of way.
The bodies of the deceased occupants have been deposited at Chongwe District Hospital mortuary, awaiting formal identification and post-mortem examinations. Preliminary investigations indicate that the accident...
In response, the Movement for Safety for People on the Move has called on the government to reinstate roadblocks nationwide, arguing that the absence of police monitoring has contributed to the rising number of fatal accidents. Movement President Chifwesa Kaoma warned that since the removal of roadblocks, even unroadworthy vehicles have proliferated, putting lives at risk.
When we had the roadblocks, of course, when the new government came in and they said, no, we have to scrap off the roadblocks, and then we see the rise in these numbers. We feel this has attributed also. So why don't we revisit that decision? Because when you make a decision and it is not working, you can always reverse that decision.
Traffic Desk Administrator Cholo Mpande has reminded drivers that failing to keep to their lane violates Section 173 Act Number 11 of 2002, and that distractions on the road often lead to deadly consequences.
The near side, what causes drivers not to keep to their lane is due to a number of factors like distractions. The use of a cell phone or GPS while it's driving must be discouraged.
Experts point out that Zambia records over 1,200 road deaths each year, with commercial trucks frequently involved in severe accidents due to speed and poor maintenance and lack of enforcement. Thomas Mwale, reporting for Sun FM TV News in Lusaka.
United Party for National Development, UPND Copperbelt Youth Chairperson Warren Hinyama has stated that youths in the province have distanced themselves from individuals mocking the late president Edgar Lungu and his family. Speaking during a press briefing, Mr. Hinyama emphasized that those making inappropriate remarks regarding the funeral are not affiliated with the party. He affirmed that both government and the first family deserve respect and dignity during this period of mourning. Mr. Hinyama called for a thorough investigation into the matter and urged the relevant authorities to take the appropriate action.
No one speaks. Those people who are speaking, mocking the late president, our late president, Edgar Chakwarungu and the family, for us in the Copper Belt, if we find you, we hear you, you are on your own. You are on your own. It is an Zambian, it's uncalled for. So those people who are speaking, purporting that they are party members, we don't know them. Because ourselves, we are structured. I know every youth of the party. So I think those people who are speaking, mocking the former first family, calling the former president Agatumbi, you are not part of us. And we are not going to entertain that. And if you are arrested, we won't even come for you.
At the same event, the Vice Chairperson in charge of politics, Mr. Kangwa Kamando, reiterated that the riotous behavior recently witnessed in Chingola will not go unpunished. Mr. Kamando stressed that all individuals involved will be held accountable in accordance with the law, adding that a party affiliation will not shield anyone from facing justice. He further stated that Zambia belongs to all Zambians and urged the citizens not to vent their frustrations on innocent people or damage property.
You can hold placards, you can have a peaceful demonstration, but where you go to break other people's shops, other people's homes, that's criminality. So police is also dealing with that issue for the youths or for the small-scale miners that were involved in breaking other people's property. Umuntu ali achuliro kwachula panga kashopu mwine pantu yoba kutana amabwe kuchirindi waamkutobe shop. No, that is uncalled for. And as leaders on the province, we will take responsibility of every behavior by every youth whether in opposition or ruling party.
Mr. Commando also issued a stern warning to all UPND aspiring candidates, urging them to respect the party constitution and its leadership as they campaign and seek public support.
You are coming aspiring candidate. Ngana umona tuli mukali sana. Sama wapange chipani chobena ngwaimini na independent. Watu shire chipani. But ngana uisa muchipani. Ololo ko chindike no bosangire muchipani. Chindika leadership. Olo in advising kwete ko kuri abeni ba aspiring. Lekeni kuita honorable. Kai munaruisha abantu bampange ba honorable. But mulipize mulechita address at ba honorable. The only honorables are people that we voted for in parliament and the people appointed, nominated by the president. Those are the honorables. The rest of you are aspiring candidates. Stop calling yourselves honorables.
We take a break and return with sports.
The Zambia ABSA Marathon is back. Be part of Zambia's biggest and most anticipated marathon. Join us on the 6th of September 2025 for a day of fun, personal milestones, and unforgettable memories. And now with the World Athletics label, you don't want to miss a chance to write your fitness story. Register today at absamarathonzambia.co.za. Get your slot at 600 kwacha or 500 kwacha when you pay using any of your ABSA cards. Your story matters. ABSA.
17 women's national team coach Carol Kanyemba believes that the time is ripe to expand the number of teams participating in the COSAFA CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers. Currently, on one team from each of the 12 member associations under the Southern African Football Governing Body is permitted to compete in the qualifiers. However, Kanyemba, a former Copper Queens defender, is advocating for dual representation to enhance competition and showcase the region's growing talent pool. Having previously led the Green Buffaloes Women Football Club at the tournament, Kanyemba was impressed by the level of female football talent on display. She reflected on her team's journey, noting how the 2022 champions failed to progress beyond the group stage in their most recent edition. For the 2024-2025 season, Zescondola Girls Football Club champions of the Zambian Premier League, ZPL Eden University Women's Super League, will represent Zambia at the qualifiers, scheduled to run from August 22nd to the 31st, 2025. Kanyemba stressed the importance of increased investment in the ZPL Eden University Women's Super League to elevate the league to continental standards.
Team is huge, and I can say it's evident with what Zescondola girls have also done. They're also investing big time, and we need a lot of corporate companies to come on board and sponsor these girls. We've got great talent, but we need to be appreciated as players, as coaches for the efforts made, and then we'll put in extra efforts. Definitely, I think if COSAFA can be broadened and maybe get 2 teams from every country, it will increase on the competition. We've got great talents, we've got great leagues in some of the countries, but if we are able to play regional tournaments at a higher level competitively for a long time, I think even going for Africa Cups will be a plus for our continent. Going to the World Cup as Africa will be able to perform better because of the competition.
Meanwhile, with less than 48 hours remaining before the 2025-2026 Zambian Premier League ZPL MTN Super League kicks off, football stakeholders are still in the dark about the official broadcaster for the upcoming season. Despite growing concern, ZPL officials remain optimistic about securing a broadcasting deal. During the recent Carling Black Label Samuel Zoom Global Charity Shield, Star Times via its top star decoders and ZNBC TV3 was licensed to broadcast 4 matches live. Insiders have hinted that negotiations with the potential broadcasters are ongoing. Prior to the establishment of the ZPL, the Football Association of Zambia FAZ had partnered with a South African company, SuperSport. That partnership spanned 18 years, beginning in 2007, and saw Zambia's top flight league aired on DSTV and GoTV platforms. However, SuperSport withdrew from broadcasting the ZPL before the conclusion of the 2024-2025 season, citing financial constraints. The 2025-2026 ZPL MTN Super League is set to kick off this week, with fixtures scheduled to be played across the country. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the news. To end, we recap on the headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has reaffirmed Zambia's enduring friendship with the United States, describing the relationship as cordial and grounded in shared democratic values. The Ministry of Mines and Minerals Development has announced that Zambia recorded a notable increase in copper production during the second quarter of 2025, reaching 439,644.29 metric tons, up from 373,263.9 metric tons in the same period last year. This marks a 17.78% year-on-year growth. Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Chipoka Mulenga has called for Zambia to position itself as the leading producer of gemstones and other precious stones in Southern Africa. In sports, Zambia under-17 women's national team coach Karo Kanyamba believes that the time is ripe to expand the number of teams participating in the COSAFA CAF Women's Championship League qualifiers. That's where we end. My name is Alan Molly. Do have a great one and stay tuned to Sun FM TV.
Sun FM.
The Zambia ABSA Marathon is back. Be part of Zambia's biggest and most anticipated marathon. Join us on the 6th of September